What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. You know, guys, in this kind of black male community online, the black red pill space, the black sector of the manosphere, also known as the black manosphere, you know, this kind of community got started with black men pushing back at the negative things that certain black women were saying in the national media, whether it's on their own syndicated shows in national media or their own personal blogs. Black men just kind of had enough. And what we saw happening, especially on YouTube at that time, was a lot of direct responses to those attacks. And I've been involved in, things like flagging campaigns against me and other YouTubers and people doxing you. And I mean, we've seen what's happened with Kevin Samuels, people coming after your families, people making threats to you, all the same, right? And after this experience, I've realized what has to happen and how people respond when this happens, and that is when people have some sort of power. Okay, now I want to tie it all back to what's going on with Monique. Monique has been on somewhat of a tear, and at a comedy show she attacked D.L. Hughley. Now D.L. Hughley is no innocent man in his own right, but she also called Steve Harvey a COON, okay, a sellout, and also attacked him. Steve Harvey had a chance to respond to it on his show. And the way that he responded to it is with class. He says this word for word: "Day music. Let me just open by saying I could care less about what you think about me. Because clearly, I'm not your problem. And you know what? Anyone who knows me, who really knows me, can't even make that statement." What I'm about to say is going to be controversial, but it needs to be said. And this is me in, not being 35 in the manosphere, but being like 41 associated with, these communities, the black male sector, the black YouTube sector, just being a little bit of an adult man, more of a mature man. Here's how we got to handle these things, guys. Some people are going to come after you and say things about black men. Some people are going to say things about you individually. You cannot control what they say. One of the things is that you can control how you respond. Now, I know what you guys are going to think. Oh, man, we shouldn't have to put up with that. Why we got to be nice when they got to be nice? Well, let me tell you, Steve Harvey, if he would have went off on her and called her a B word, called her a thought, called her fat or whatever else, the way the general public would have looked at it would have been unfavorable. And see, this is where wisdom carries over. I think we have a lot of times the things that we say online, I'm a victim of it. We got to look at who is even worth responding to. And obviously, in the case of Steve Harvey, Monique is more important enough to be responded to because of her success. But most people are just not worth responding to. I may make the mistake every now and then and do it, but most people are just not worth responding to. And there are going to be some women out there who are going to be able to say whatever they want to say about you. And you can't say nothing about them. But here is where you win. Be successful. Okay? Want to know how successful people win when people talk shit about them? It's called blackballing. All right? Now, I know that guys are not going to like what I just said, but that's what happens. You drag people, you disrespect people, you talk about them. They use their leverage to keep people out of stuff. The problem with black men is we don't have stuff to keep people out of. And see, what I'm talking about next requires some form of building, some form of taking advantage of your own membership of brotherhood that you have with people, It's called working together. As men, when you build infrastructures and things and systems that you control, people who disrespect those things get blackballed or they get put out. If we look at the best communities right now on the planet that do that, we would look at the Ashkenazi Jews or the European Jews. They've made a mastery course on this. We've seen Nick Cannon have to bend the knee. We've seen everybody have to bend the knee, right? Because if you say things that are unfavorable, you're going to pay for it. The same thing with the LGBT community. You say things that are unfavorable, you're going to pay for it. I am living for the day that black men, that if you are talked down upon, you are disrespected, you are defamed, we are defamed as a community, people get blocked out of things. They're afraid to say false things because of what may happen to them. But the reason why Monique goes after a lot of these black men and not as much Oprah as much so, because they think that these black men are powerless. But the way that you handle that is on the back end. Somebody is disrespectful towards you, they're dragging you, defaming you. It's up to you to say, okay, you know what? That person, if that person's there, I'm not going to be there. Very similar to what allegedly happened with Isaiah Thomas not being on the Dream Team. Michael Jordan says, listen, I'm the greatest player in the world. You want me on this team? He can't be here. Make a choice. What is that called? That's power. Steve Harvey has some power. He can respond to it like that. But the reason why we respond to a lot of black women, and we start calling names, and we do that out of frustration, and we have no real authority to keep anybody out of anything. That is exactly why black men respond to that. But black men don't have to do that. Okay? We don't even have to have disgusting debates that even get out of hand with ladies. It's not necessary. It would show that we would even care too much to go back and forth and curse some lady out or call some woman some name, even if they could even deserve it. I know this is a change of pace for somebody like me, but what you can do is just continue to be successful. And you'd be surprised how many people are going to end up needing you one day. And then that's when you're like, oh yeah, remember when you said that? Denied. But if you don't have that mindset, you won't be able to do it. I remember when it was free reign on people to talk about people from for Muslims in America, especially after 9/11. It was free reign. Free reign. You could say it all day long. Try doing it right now. Want to know why? Their people came together and said, no, we cannot. We need to make it a point that, whatever we got to do, we got to lobby people. We got to make sure that these people never talk about us or ever, identify us as extremists or violence. And that shit got stopped real quick. It's about having power. Muslims didn't waste their time going back and forth with people in debates and calling names, all that. They got themselves together as a community and said, okay, we're going to attain power. And that's why Steve Harvey has a response. Power. Success. You don't need to call people names when you're successful. When you're successful, it speaks for itself. And that's how the attitude that we got to address. We have to handle things with class. And for those who are offensive and saying things, they got to pay the price. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junker. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe with the bell. Check out the first comment at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at all-time high. I'm out.